Well, it's very early April and I'm out here with a dressing gown on because it's gone really cold. There's a chill coming off the Antarctic like you wouldn't believe. I think it's because of the cyclone up in northern New South Wales into Queensland, sort of thing, that's pushed the swell, the clockwise swell that comes off the Antarctic. It's pushed it round, sort of thing, and yeah, so we're getting a lot of chill coming off of the western arm of the yeah, so it goes clockwise. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad I'm not sleeping in the lounge this year. I think I would have died out there this year because it got so cold so quickly, so early. So, yeah, we're looking for the underlying, overarching principle, the quintessential, salient, innumerable. Yeah, I'm working on it, fellas. Yeah, maybe we need a little bit of a recap. We did find out this past season, you're right, fellas, about perlite. It is better than sand, probably because it either because it's made from black obsidian. It either has a high manganese or a high iron content, or maybe high both content, sort of thing, both iron and manganese, or maybe some other type of acidophil in there that we hitherto unbeknownst about. Anyway, so iron seems to be a problem in certain forms. Still working on it. I think I have an idea of how to break through on that side of things. If you use the oxide, eventually it does seem to help, and you get pinking and reddening all the way down from the very surface. Probably if you keep your pots damp enough, all the way down the very surface with maybe just very bare surface greening, which I don't think I even got. Oh, I can't even. No, the sun's not shining on it, fellas. Maybe another time when the. We did all this sort of stuff, and we found that you can, if you got poly, you will get pinking down the bottom, sort of thing, lots of greying, and with more proteinaceous material in the sand, you'll get all your classic Winogradsky. But if you don't have any of that and just the sand, you may get a little bit of greening in the poly, but basically not much difference in the sand unless you do have some sort of proteinaceous material in the sand. So what does that say about soil out in the natural world that does give the natural greying and everything in the world? Does that imply that it already has a lot of proteinaceous material? And by a rough calculation, how much egg we were using, the 25 mils, and how much fat and proteins in egg, you could probably make a rough guesstimate of what's going out in the real world. You know, on the back of a shirt sleeve or back of a stamp or something, you can make a rough guesstimation. Anyway, I think what we've, at least what we're discovering or heading towards, is the breaking through on copper and the suggestion of where the so-called CP tannins really come from. As you can probably see there, I think I may have broken through, found a way of breaking through on the copper side. So we're going to, as we go through the last few rays of the sun, I suppose. I'll be testing it out. The other thing about that is the temperature, of course. We've discovered from the fridge that the organism doesn't, the so-called magic 8 degrees seems to tie in with the organism not wanting to grow, not wanting to pink or redden. When the temperature gets down to the magic 8 degree, definitely doesn't seem to grow at 6 degrees in the fridge. Yeah, so you might want to. So in other words, that also ties into the fact that the perlite is white, of course, so it's not going to get. And also with the charcoal on the top of the soil, it does help to bring in the warmth. And also you probably want a dark pot, not a white pot. So maybe that was another misdirection from people in the commercial industry, suggesting you will probably do better with white pots, when I think actually you would do better with darker pots, because the perlite is white, so it will remain cooler, but you will bring in the heat. And why do we want the heat? We want the heat to actually generate the reductive flammable gas. And so it's more a case of not generating the reductive flammable gas, I would suggest, for the reason why the organism actually doesn't grow around the magic 8 degrees sort of thing. So if that's true, by adding something that does generate reductive animal gas, either aluminium foil or zinc metal or something else that generates reductive animal gas, you should, in theory, be able to get growth at the lower temperatures. Maybe it's only going to be meagre or minimal, but anyway, I'm probably going to have to move these out. Probably move some of these pots around. Move this one out and grab one of these other pots or something and move it into the sun, sort of, because the sun is shifting around, and also we've gone into daylight saving as well, so I'm not usually out here at the normal times when I'm watering sort of thing. So I don't know if we can get this handle up. It's not going to break or something. There we go. And we'll and also I noticed with this pot here, I've got another growth point here or something. Can you see in there? There's another, what looks like another growth point. So so maybe stick this one in here as a replacement. So we can get the handle down there and see if it gets any sunlight. Well, hopefully it'll get the sunlight now, and we just keep watering it as per usual. I'll make sure it's level, flush with the ground. Okay, so I'll stick that one there, and maybe move this one with the dandelions, or one of these other ones with the dandelion out. I could probably get rid of that one there. Yeah, that'd be better. And we can shift one of these other pots in there. And this one's, I don't know, it's not doing as well as I expected, but we'll see how we go, what happens as we go into the latter part of April and autumn, sort of thing, so-called autumn, with the last few rays of the season, I suppose. So I think put that in there. Yeah, didn't do too badly that season, that one there. Could do with more colour. That should colour up more as we get to the end of this month. So that should go, hopefully, I think runs to, everything remains tickety-boo and everything. Yeah, maybe I will move that one out and put the other one in there. But, yeah, maybe move some of these other... Oh, this one here, it's got one last picture, I think, for the season, actually. So, unless this is going to do something really crazy, like just keep growing through the season, learn something new. But, I don't know, fellas. Just didn't do it early enough or something. It almost looks wild now, like wild looking the one. Those poor wild stuff. So, I just think we need another season, fellas. Oh, can you see the pictures over there starting to orangey, pink and red, if that's the phrase. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to move that out, and that's probably going to have, it's a slightly wider top pot, so I don't know where I'm going to put that one. Anyway, rough talk about this. We had problems with the polystyrene on the top, but we found that if we had sand on the top, it does help quite a lot. But so the next question is, why don't we just use the beanbag prilling, and instead of cutting out, doing all that work to cut up the fine polystyrene, why not try and use the beanbag prilling with the sand, and hopefully then we'll get the best of both worlds. We'll get the surface bit of sand, and because the beanbag prilling is much larger, it shouldn't float around, but then again, probably when we put it to the practical test, we will find that the very prills on the surface will actually float about. But anyway, definitely putting a handful of sand on the top for this sort of size pot, this 10 by 10 by 15 centimetre type milk bottle container. The high density polyethylene container does actually work. We've got all sorts of weird colourings with the manganese and the iron there. Yeah, getting some of that weird colouring you actually see down at some of the plants you get from the commercial places too, where they just sit there doing bugger all, and with this strange weird colouring of the leaves sort of thing. Seems to be matching the iron, zinc, chalky, eggy weggy chalk ones. So interesting. Makes you wonder if they actually use egg in their they probably use it at a much diluted, probably 1/10 of what we're using, probably, if they're using it at all. We found with the manganese, we did get the zinc organism growing on the surface of the manganese when we just put the manganese on the very surface. So we've set up these other two, but the data is a bit slow. As I said, we're heading towards breaking copper, and hopefully that's where we'll get all the seed germination and the striking, and it will, you know, it will be the other side of the coin basically. So we'll be able to put all the perlite work and polystyrene. Oh, and the other thing with the polystyrene and perlite, when you mix it off, you actually need more polystyrene than you do perlite. I'm suggesting like a 7 to 5 part ratio. You think it's too much, but when you add the water to it, and you know, the void space and everything between the, you know, the external interstices sort of thing, it basically 7 to 5 is probably the best ratio I can come up very quickly. It's easy to make up. So you actually need more polystyrene than to perlite ratio than you think. 7 to 5, I reckon. So when you wet it down, yeah, it apportionates itself. That's about it, I think, fellas, for the summary. Basically, I'll just continue this on the next video. I'll probably see it all, and yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, that's it. Okay. When it's a cold day, I've noticed you didn't really have to water them, sort of thing. And maybe only once a water, one water, sort of thing. So I don't know. By the end of this month, I probably won't be watering these at all, especially when the rains start, sort of thing. If it's wet on the top or gets wet on the top overnight from moisture in the air, that's when I'll probably not water at all then, and we'll see. Anyway, we'll see as it goes in, but they look like they're going to colour up by the end of April. Usually they get some really spectacular colours. We'll see, fellas, but it looks like that one's getting its last pictures for the season. Anything else? Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to do a lot more work on the zinc, fellas, and break through on the copper, push that further, and maybe solve this iron problem. Put it all together, add it to the polystyrene perlite, which is better than just perlite on its own, and maybe take out the charcoal on the surface, so we get more, yeah. I don't know, the charcoal could be good for the I don't know, it could be good for the winter. Keeps it warmer, but of course it also might make it keep it cooler as well, having, you know, wet charcoal on the top. I don't know. It's 2 in 1 and half a dozen the other, fellas, and I just want something that you can set and forget, basically. So yeah, with 17 seconds left on the card, that's my rant for today. I think, you know, my summary rant. Okay, over and out, and see you on the next video, and hopefully we might have broken through on the copper by then, you know, fully broken through. We'll see. Okay, over and out. See ya.